Welcome everybody to another week. It'll be week 9 of this time the reactions. I'm not gonna lie to you here. Matt and I have been talking about so much soccer in the past 30 minutes now that I had to almost stop. I'm like, stop, Matt. We'll get to the games. I know we're having fun, man. We stop. It's just we just have way too much fun. And again, I have my friend Matt here. Hey Matt, how you doing this week? You're sounding a lot better this week. Hey.
I'm doing all right. Yeah, I heard the guy recording the videos has got some volume stuff situated out. So it's will be a lot easier to hear, I think, from here on out.
Yes, definitely. I or whoever the editor is. I mean,
He's been doing a good job.
Yeah. Shut up. No. Yeah, they do actually. Yeah. Never mind. Anyway, we're gonna get our predictions on here. We're gonna get our games. We're gonna get it going. We got lots to do, lots to see, lots to say.
Reactions first, right?
Lots of reactions on. Yeah, we're gonna do the reactions, and then we got more videos after this, guys, that we're gonna make. We gotta make the week 10 and the 10 and a half week 11's games. All in the same week because there's games on Wednesday this week, so we gotta
make sure you wait for that match day 10 predictions video.
Yeah, make sure you watch it. I'll get it up ASAP. All right, guys, let's get to the game. The first game we have on our hand is Arsenal versus Tottenham. I had it as a 2-1. Matt, you had it as 1-2. You had Arsenal losing this game. Go ahead and talk about your big zero goose egg that you got on this, and I got points. Anyways, go ahead. Yeah.
Whenever I predict games with Arsenal in them, there's always a bit of inherent bias against them. So I was really hoping that they would lose, but Spurs were just not up to it this time. They scored. Arsenal scored first, and it was kind of over from there. Kane got a penalty, but they were really not. They didn't have much of the ball. They didn't have a lot of scoring opportunities. Lloris played well. He made 8 saves.
Yes, he did. Yes,
or 6 saves. Sorry, 6 saves. But yeah, they couldn't really do anything. And to their credit, Arsenal played well. They dominated the ball. They dominated the chances. They are playing more like they were before they lost their first game of the year. Yeah, they're a scary looking team. I definitely don't want to. I wouldn't want to be a team playing against Arsenal in the near future. Let's say that.
Yeah, for sure. So as we know, we have we got me who is right. It was a 3-1 game. I didn't think. I thought this game was going to be a lot closer. Yeah, I didn't get the score, so I only get 1 point. But I thought this was going to be a heck of a lot closer. I mean, they had 22 shots on net. I mean, they dominate. Arsenal looked so good out there, and Tottenham just was they just couldn't handle what Arsenal was bringing out. And this was a big game. This was a game where Tottenham had to win.
Derby.
Yeah, they had to win it because won the Derby too. But Tottenham had to win it because if they won it, they would have jumped over Man City and gotten second.
And Arsenal. Arsenal would have been a team.
Yeah. And so with that, they messed up. They messed up and they tripped. And it was really bad play. And the way they did it this game was they just pushed hard on the counter. Basically, they would get the ball and they would send 3 guys up. And Tottenham could not handle that switch quick enough, and it just cost them the game. But yeah, I congrats Arsenal. I will believe that they will be in. They will stay in first place up until World Cup. They're just that gosh darn good, and I think Man City's good too. But I think Arsenal's going to stay there only because they're just going to keep winning. But I do believe that. Move on to our next game now. We have Liverpool versus Brighton. 3-3 draw. Matt, go ahead.
Wild game.
Yes.
So I tuned in partway through the game, and it was 3-2 for Liverpool.
Yep.
But the context of that was Brighton jumped out to a 2-0 lead in the first 17 minutes. Leandro Trossard, who I have definitely sang his praises a bit before in our discussions here. He's Belgian, actually. Look out for Belgium in the World Cup. Scored 2 goals in the first 17 minutes, and Liverpool was reeling at home at Anfield. Like, what's going on? The fans are unhappy. We should be winning, but they rallied back. Firmino scored 1 in the first half. Halftime, they're still down 2-1. Scored another one in the second half. They're tied, and then they scored another goal to go up 3-2. Okay, surely, the wind is out of Brighton's sails. You get it? Because it's a port town.
I get the joke.
Sure. The Seagulls were surely grounded, and not so. Last 10 minutes of the game, Trossard had one more, and it was a beauty of a goal. Nothing he could really do. Nothing Alisson could have done on that one, I think. Just couldn't get there in time. And they equalized 3-3, much to the disappointment of the home fans. They went against the
powerhouse,
the trend of Anfield, Liverpool, and they played well. Like, they obviously had lulls. Like, I think they must have been feeling comfortable up to they conceded 3 in a row, but they managed to pull something back. It was like a counter-attacking chance kind of thing with the third goal, but credit to Liverpool for coming back and almost winning, but I think more credit to Brighton. The new manager, De Zerbi's first Premier League game, and he came out with a point at Anfield, so I think he'll be pretty happy about that.
Yeah, so there was 2 factors this game that I saw, because I was very happy with the way the game went. Just on a neutral setting, it was a very good game. So the way this coach coaches is actually different than they do in Italy, where he's from.
Yeah.
In Italy, it's very hold the ball, make sure defensively, strongholds, that sort of style, almost like ticky-tack-toe. But he has a style where he's more aggressive and he's more on the offensive side. He's been on so many different teams. His first job was in a Division 5 league, and then he took that Division 5 league, who actually had no money and was about to get relegated, kept them up barely, and then goes to a different team where that team was going to basically, they change coaches on average every 3 months. Every 3 months. They're worse than Watford, and they just kept changing. And that's what he did. He did well, but not well enough. And so boom, he got fired. But then he went on to this next team, and he took that team 2 divisions up, and that's when he got saw, and he was like, oh, okay. Then they brought him here. I think he fits well in Brighton's team. Fits really well in Brighton's team. He makes a very good team, finally aggressive, since they have so many years of defense, and that defensive mindset. He doesn't have to do much to teach the defense what to do. He just has to change one side of it. So he's just changed like 3 players to go, oh, you play offense now. Oh, okay, cool. We're gonna play offense. And as for this game, he that's what he did. He got up 2-0. He has to teach them how to hold that lead, though. And I think Fabinho was the only guy who did well this entire game. Their defense in Liverpool sucked.
Van Dijk had a shocker on the last goal.
Oh my! I saw that. Yep.
It just went right by his boot, and he just missed. Yep.
And it was really sad. I had the game as 3-1. You had the game as 3-2. So you were really close for Liverpool win. And actually, we both lose.
It was I tuned in at 3-2, and I was like, okay, well, if it stays this way, I got the prediction. But I'm not unhappy that that they came back.
I saw your note. I got the game right. I got the game right now. I was like, yeah, okay, that was it. But yeah,
No.
great, good job by Brighton. Congratulations. We applaud you. Next game is we have Fulham at Newcastle. I'm gonna let you kind of talk about this game a little bit. Go ahead, Matt.
So this one was actually, it was at Craven Cottage, which
was
is a
it?
away fixture for Newcastle. Yeah.
Oh, okay, never mind. I'm sorry.
But they didn't play like it was an away fixture.
Yeah, that's probably why I thought. Yeah, I saw the game too. I swear I saw the game. Okay, go ahead.
It was overall they were just better. They outchanced them. They had 10 shots on target, and they could have had more goals than just the 4 they scored. Almiron had one incredible goal, which I'll let you talk about on your turn. But yeah, it truly looked like a team that wants to be in the top half, or is in the top half, playing a team in the bottom half, which is what people might have said going into the season.
Yeah.
But there were some who were doubting Newcastle's recent form and the fact that they kept getting draws instead of wins, and they showed that they actually are a good team, at least against Fulham.
Yeah, at least against Fulham.
So with that, I'll let you talk about your experience there.
Okay, so I saw the entire game. Let me tell you, the game ended as 4-1, but we started that game like garbage. Fulham actually had a couple of really good setup passes. They knew what they were doing. Mitrovic actually went down later in the game too. I don't see a report yet about what happened, but basically he just went down. Nobody touched him. Nobody fouled him. He just went down, ankle injury, out of the game. So they already had him out. And I don't know how they even got that one goal, but they got the one goal with in the 90th minute, honestly. But game ended. I think it was 4-1. Yep. It was 4-1. But there was a significantly changed mind person while watching the game on me, and I don't mean that the team. I had better thoughts with it, even though they were up 1-0 with a man down. Which that even then, I would have given a yellow card for that foul.
Right.
He did hit the ball. Studs were up, but he did hit the ankle. And I would have been like, yellow card would have been fine and play the game on a neutral site. I was screaming for like, oh, what a foul! But yeah, for that to happen, yeah. Even after that red card went, Newcastle still could not score the first couple minutes after that penalty. They couldn't set up right. They couldn't do things right. They are hurting, and I think everything changed after that first goal. Almost the relief was like, oh. And then the second goal came in. Almiron has, I will say, no matter what, goal of the month and a potential goal of the year. I'm showing it right now what the goal looks like, but holy crap. It was a beautiful cross up in the air, and he had that ball previously. He actually had ticked the ball over to the passer at the time. He ticks it over, boom, up in the air, one shot, boom, over the head. I even thought, I was like, did that go in? The announcers were like, even said beforehand, they were like, oh, look at he makes a what? Oh my god, that shot was so beautiful. Even afterwards, the announcers were like, I actually was about to say how bad of a shot that was going to be to take a chance right there, and they did. And I made a note here too about NBC, who I watch on the Peacock channel, and it was so funny because when I watch NBC, you may not know this, Matt. One, because you don't have NBC, but two, because when you watch NBC, they only talk about Arsenal, Tottenham, Chelsea, Man City, Liverpool, just top 6 teams. They do allow like other teams if they're good or if they start playing well. Like they talked about Brighton last season a little bit, but they never talk about lower guys or mid-table guys really, or they give us like 5 seconds of play. I check it. They give us like 4 minutes of an hour stream, but they'll give like 15, 20 minutes to like Man City. Like, how much more can you talk about Man City's game, right? But it's because of the money. They have more fans, more people want to watch those guys. The advertisement, same thing. But they actually stopped on that game, and even though a game was a blowout, they actually stopped and said, you know what? My underappreciated guy was Almiron, and I would have given the same thing. And they actually stopped. They actually talked about how Newcastle was doing and how well. Because Newcastle now, I believe Newcastle is 7th now. Yeah, 7th. And Fulham actually at the time was 7th, and they actually beat a team that was above them. So I think Newcastle is turning right now. I think if they can get their team healthy again, Callum Wilson goes ahead and starts scoring again. Callum Wilson had a bad game this game, I'll admit that. But I think if with all of that, I have the pride back in Newcastle. I have the love of Newcastle coming back, and I am proud to be a Newcastle fan. Will I doubt them again? Yeah, if they keep winning games after I doubt them, I'll doubt them every game. I don't care. But congratulations to Newcastle. You guys played well. Almiron, I will say this. I am sorry. I will actually say I am sorry. Because I called you out and said, we need to bring in Pulisic. You are terrible. But he is getting better and better every week, and I'll give him that. So, all right, Matt, what do you think about this game?
Well, I kind of shared my thoughts a little bit. I will say, though, that, yeah, I don't have the NBC experience because in Canada it's on Fubo, which is, I think it's the same feeds as when it was on DAZN, which are actually often the British commentators. So that's like actually the ones who are on like, you know, BT Sport or any of those like local
Sky, yeah.
Sky Sports, yeah.
Yep.
So I'm happy with you know, they don't always seem impartial. There are definitely some that like you can tell that they are used to the teams that have been better for longer, like Manchester United and things.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, all credit to Newcastle. If they keep this up, then they may actually finish where we predicted them to finish in the table.
Yeah, I hope so. I really hope so. On to the next game, we have Southampton versus Everton on this. That was a 2-1 win by Everton. Matt, go ahead and talk about the game.
First off, do you want to remind me what I predicted for this game?
Oh, I don't think I wrote it down.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't write it down. Sorry, man. Sorry. No,
yeah, it was a win for Everton.
Matt said it was going to be a 1-0 win. Everton. I said it was going to be a 1-0 win Southampton. So yeah, applaud to you. I'll give Matt a point.
Right? It's the opposite of the Arsenal Tottenham one.
Give Matt another point. God, what is that really? Gets 2 points for Matt. Jesus. All right, go ahead, Matt. Rub it in some more.
Yeah, I think Everton have been the more consistent team this year. I've kind of had the impression that Southampton have been slipping. Like they don't know exactly what they're going for as a team, and they have just not been consistent at all. They did have more possession this game than Everton. They scored the first goal, but it's like a common thing, I think, that teams score and then they like fall asleep for a second, because 3 minutes after they scored, they let in a goal off a corner. Connor Cody, fairly recently signed, I think, actually from Wolves, if I remember correctly, or at least used to play for Wolves. And then 2 minutes later, Dwight McNeil, formerly of Burnley, actually, shout out to Burnley, because they have multiple players who stayed in the Premier League even when they got relegated. Dwight McNeil scored as well, and boom, boom. You know, in the span of from 5 minutes, they went from like, even to winning to even to losing.
Yep.
And I think they just don't necessarily have a huge like identity yet. They have James Ward-Prowse, who's excellent. I think Walker Peters is a very good player. They have that one forward, Che Adams, who's I think is really good too. Who did not. Oh no, he did play this game. He didn't score. But yeah, I just they're a team as well, Southampton, that like they develop players really well and then they sell them, right? Like they don't have a consistent team for a long time, so that's probably a hard thing for them to deal with as well. They finished in like just above the relegation zone last year, and I think they're going to struggle against teams that are around them as well, which I think Everton is like, they're very close in terms of like quality, let's say. But credit to Frank and his squad, because they pulled out a win, and like 3 points at this stage for Everton puts them up to 11th. Like they're actually like they haven't lost in 5 games.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
They've had a lot of. Actually, I don't think they've lost in more than that. I think it was earlier in the season that they lost last.
Yeah, they lost to.
They lost the first 2 games.
Yep.
To Chelsea and Villa, and then they haven't lost in the next like 7.
Yep.
So something's going well with Everton. They're finding ways to get results, even if it doesn't look pretty.
Yeah, and it's against big teams too. They drew against Liverpool, so I mean it is against big teams. I thought this would have been the game that Everton would have looked past. I was thinking Southampton is just going to be too strong against them, and Southampton just I saw the highlights on this, and it was every single one. They had 22 shots. Guess what? It says shots on target. I would say if the post would add to the shots on target, that shots on target should be 10. They had 4 that hit the post. They could have at least had 4 goals. It was so beautiful what they were doing out there, and you just couldn't get results. And that happens, Southampton did great though. I will give them credit. Everton, I think we're just trying to hold on for dear life after they scored that goal, and it's not a bad thing, but it's not a good thing to have. So, I will give credit to Everton for getting the win. That's how you got to do it. Sometimes you got to park the bus, and that's how you win.
They have an excellent keeper to stop some shots for them. So he definitely did his job.
I hear it's England's #1. I'm sorry, no. Get out of here. Whatever. He is. Don't even know. I will have a 15-minute conversation why I think my goalie is the #1 goalie. Anyways, good job, Matt. Get your point. Congratulations.
That's a +1 for me there.
Yeah, we'll give you a +1 right there. Yeah.
Although this next one though is not a +1 for me.
No. Next game that we're going to go to is Crystal Palace versus Chelsea. I had the game as a 2-2 draw, and you had the game as a 1-1 draw.
We're both half
close. We're so close. I did write this down because we had a draw, and I was so excited about this because I thought he scored. I said Pulisic was going. I even said it. I said Pulisic is either going to score or set up the goal. I had said Pulisic because I wrote it down. I said Pulisic scores or does something. So I thought he was going to do something. He did. He tripped, and the ball kind of moved out of the way. He did a good pass, and on this Gallagher amazing kick.
I was gonna say, you're talking about goals of the month. This one's a pretty good candidate.
It was, and I'll let you continue with this because this is your former team now or something. I don't know. Well, this is between you and yourself. But go ahead and talk about Crystal Palace.
So this game was at Selhurst Park. So advantage there for Palace. Although it's not a far drive from the bridge or Cobham even, where Chelsea trains, but. They did what they do a lot of times, I feel like, in just conceding a early goal that they definitely should not have conceded. And the thing is, against a lot of teams that play solid defense and use the low block even, Chelsea struggles to score. And it's just the thing that happens sometimes. And I tuned in halfway through, I think, and they had equalized. But I think, if I had been watching live, there would not have been a lot of hope because there have been a lot of Chelsea games I watched where, they've gone 1-0 down, or the game is 0-0 and it's
Yeah.
like, the team's just like sitting back with like 9 guys in the box.
Yep.
They're like, okay, well, it doesn't look like they're just passing around the back, like they don't have the incisive passing that I think teams like City do, or at least they don't do it as often and as consistently. But one of their new summer signings, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, opened his Premier League goal tally for Chelsea, and he did the flip. And
He did.
I remember watching him for Arsenal doing the flip and saying, "Wow, I hate it." And then I see this, like, okay, I can get behind it. He's not for Arsenal anymore, so.
Yes.
But yeah, wow, like. It was going to be another one of them where we're like, okay, it's 1-1, and they're trying and they're trying and they're trying, and they couldn't do it. And then Gallagher stepped into that ball. It's just like, okay, I wasn't expecting that, but it was nice. It was, it was all the storylines too. I actually forgot about that. I made a note to myself earlier. Conor Gallagher last year, Crystal Palace Player of the Year, on loan from Chelsea. Comes back to Selhurst Park against Crystal Palace and scores a 90th minute winner like that. It's somebody, like, the scriptwriters are lazy, I feel like.
Yeah.
It's like it was written in the stars. Somebody knew it was gonna happen. But yeah, wow. What a day for him. Like, he's really been showing his quality, I think, and while he isn't a consistent starter, he's, aside from that one game where he got a red card, he's played pretty well, I think.
Yeah,
your thoughts?
I watched the game a little bit, just the highlights, and I thought, oh man, it's gonna be another draw for Chelsea.
Yep.
There they go again. Like,
And I predicted it too, right?
yeah, I mean, I wasn't mad at it because I was like, okay, cool, I got a draw, I got a point. But I think Gallagher coming out and having the class he did when he scored that goal. He scored the goal, and the minute he scored the goal, he didn't cheer, he didn't shine, he didn't go to the corner all over it. No, he was just like, all right, guys, if you guys want to high five me or whatever here, that's great on him. Because he even said after the game, he said, I have so much respect for the Crystal Palace fans and what they did for me, and giving me a chance that I will always have a piece of me will always be. And I think that's so much class by him, and good on him for doing that. I will say his goal was a very good goal, though. That was a very good, not as good as Almiron. I'm sorry, Almiron one-touched it from his ankle. Okay, in the air, he had to look up. Do you know how hard it is to look up in the air and even catch a football?
Oh my
God.
Like above his head,
Oh my God! Wow, I'm just saying. Congratulations to Chelsea. Way to save your season right there, because that was a moment that you guys needed that win. So, congratulations to them. I think I would have been happy with the 1-1 draw, and I would have said that was the correct score. But congratulations, Chelsea, on showing teams that, hey, you got to play the full 90. So, all right, on to the next game. Bournemouth versus Brentford.
Okay.
I was so wrong on this one, and you were just partially wrong on this one. This was a sleeper. Yeah. It was a 0-0 game. And Matt, I'll let you go ahead and be first on this one.
So I might have expected this from Bournemouth, but with how Brentford's been playing this season, they've shown that they can score.
Yeah.
So I was kind of surprised that they've scored 15 goals so far in 8 games. Mm-hmm. And that's averaging almost 2 a game, even like counting this game. So before that, they were averaging 2 goals a game. And they couldn't find a way. Bournemouth is a pretty solid defensive team. Ever since their managerial change, I feel like they have definitely been focusing more on being compact and defending well.
Yeah.
But that means that they don't have a lot of chances. They had just 1 shot on target, which was not let in. It was saved. Brentford definitely had a good chunk of the possession. I feel like it's one of those things where, like, yeah, like I was saying, it's like if you're not making those incisive passes and like, or spreading the team out and making space in that way, like a lot of the better teams do much better. Then you're gonna struggle against teams that like the low block and like to just play tight, compact defense. And Brentford struggled against that, which, fair credit to Bournemouth. They did not allow a goal after their horrendous start to the season where they allowed a lot of goals.
Yes.
They've definitely turned it around. So I think this game is a positive for Brentford, or positive for Bournemouth, and definitely a missed chance at more points for Brentford.
Yeah, I agree. You got Bournemouth coming off of a draw. You know how to play them. Brentford knows how to score. I'm noticing though, Brentford has a very hard time when they go away. Their beehive, as I would like to call it, is so good. And this game, it just looked like they were okay with just getting a draw. You could even tell after the game, the coach for Brentford was walking on the field and he was clapping to the fans, and he just smiled like, oh, happy. I'm like, what are you doing, dude? A team that could get relegated this season, you just dropped 2 points to. I hope you're smiling at the end of the year if you're one of the teams that go down, because that's not good for you. But I will say the chances did definitely go to Brentford. They had the better chances. They set up properly. The goalie just saved well. The goalie was just well. The defense played well enough, and the chances were just missed. So congratulations to them, to Bournemouth for the draw. You guys are any point you guys can get to stay up, because you guys are supposed to get relegated. So congratulations to them, and good job, literally good job to them. Next game, West Ham versus Wolves. West Ham won 2-0.
Yep.
Oh my God. I will let you go ahead and talk about this game, Matt, because I have some words to say about it. Go ahead.
You wanna first remind me what my prediction for this game was?
Yeah, yours was 1-0.
Yeah. So
do you want to know what mine was?
Was it 2-0?
Mine was 2-0. Woo!
So I was correct, but you were more correct.
Oh, I was more. I was 3 points correct.
That's, pretty good. Well, we take those. You take those. I will say though, I remember when we discussed this last week. I had a feeling that West Ham would pick up the win. They have not had a lot of wins this year. This was only their second. But Wolves are a team that has been struggling. This was at the London Stadium. West Ham has been playing well in Europe as well, so they've got a bit of momentum and a bit of good form to kind of build off of. I want to say Scamacca, who they signed, I believe, this summer. He's Italian. He's been playing really well, and it's really, it's not always easy for a striker to come into the Premier League and just instantly start dominating, unless your name is Erling Haaland.
Yeah. Okay, we'll get to that.
We'll get to that. But he's playing really well, and he's kind of a bargain buy. Like they didn't pay as much for him as I would have expected, or as he could be worth. It's it depends on how he plays. But so far so good. He's scored in Europe. He's scored in the Premier League. They've got points out of it. And Bowen scored as well. Who I will say, I don't remember which game I was watching, but I think it was one of the European games, or it might have been against Spurs earlier, where Bowen was just following all over the place and kind of just like looking out of sorts. And he is one of those players that I think can can let his emotions kind of take him, and when things are going great, that's great, and when they're not, it's really not.
Yeah.
But it went well for them this game, even though they did not have that much possession. And I think that's more of a negative against Wolves, because when they played Bournemouth earlier this year, and that game was a scoreless draw, Wolves had so much of the ball, and they just missed chance after chance after chance, and they could not find a way to score. They have a good team. I don't doubt the quality of players that they have, except maybe up front. But when they had to rely on even, I think it was against Newcastle, they had a goal from the midfielder from way out.
Yes.
They can't rely on midfielders scoring all the time.
Yep.
So they're gonna need to figure out how to score some goals. They have the possession, they're moving the ball, but once it gets into that final third, right? It's kind of the thing I was talking about with Chelsea. Is like you need to find ways to score. And if you're a team that likes playing off the corner or playing off set pieces, like some of the, let's say, lower teams that don't have the squad depth to have all of that like really beautiful looking football, as some people would say.
Yep.
But I think Wolves plays like a attractive looking style of game, and they just can't finish. So they lost because they allowed 2 goals and could not score a goal. That's my expert analysis. What about you?
So one thing, I don't know if you just were allowing me to do it, which is thanks. I think you were.
I usually do let you.
The head coach got fired after the game, and that was a huge thing after the game. I think the board were gonna fire him anyways, but I think it was weird how I don't think they told him until after the game happened, because they dominated that game. Possession-wise, 61%. And I'm sorry, you have 40% of the ball, and you allow the other team to get 5 shots on target, and they were good shots too. But you let goals, but you guys can't get anything on that net, and they just weren't playing. They just weren't playing. You have the speed, you have the strength. Be the good team that you guys have been this entire year, and they're just not showing it. I haven't seen yet who the new coach is, but I think they still have an intern coach. I just hope the intern coach comes in. I think Wolves' next game is against one of the big 6, so I don't think they're going to get a coach to come in to play that game anyways. I think they're like, no, I ain't going to have my first. Yeah, I was like, I'm not going to have my first game against Chelsea. I think they're going to wait a week. They're going to come in, and I think it's going to be. I think the person they come in is going to be an offensive push juggernaut, because that's their downfall right now. They got the defense, now they got to get the offense.
I will add something else that I had forgotten about.
Mm-hmm.
They signed Diego Costa this week, or like a couple weeks ago, and between him and Adama Traore, and what is it, Prudence and like Neto, they have players who can score.
Yep.
It's just they haven't been able to.
That's why I think they're going to bring somebody who's more of an offensive minded guy.
Although I can't wait to see Diego Costa sub on against Chelsea at the Bridge.
It'd be amazing.
Man. One more thing.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if they'll have time to hire a new coach. That's the other thing. But Brighton hired their new coach right before the Liverpool game,
right?
Which was bold.
Yeah.
But it paid off. So maybe they will. Maybe, who knows?
I don't think the coach will do it, but yes, they might hire him. But they on to the next game we have. Very next game we have is going to be Man City versus Man U. Holy crap! I will say this. I watched the entirety of this game before. I watched it live. Okay. And it was because I was editing, and I was like, oh, I can watch this in the background while I have that. This is going to be a good game anyways. It'll be kind of fun to kind of see how good it is. But But Matt, go ahead and talk about this game, because whatever you say, I might only be able to interject a couple of things. So go.
Right. So I'll give a little bit of context to this. I was asleep when this game started. It was started at, I think, at 8 a.m. On Sunday.
It was early.
My time.
Yeah, it was early.
But I woke up and I checked my my group chat with some friends of mine who watch the Premier League, and there's two guys in there that just love Man City, and they were just, loving their life and having a great time and singing the praises of Erling Haaland. And then I checked the score and I understood. And then I watched more of the game, and wow. City were not a team that want to drop any points, especially against Manchester United this year.
Yeah.
And I remember saying in the predictions video for this, United's defense has been improving a lot ever since Ten Hag's been kind of like, after the first couple games, he's kind of shifted things, and it seems like they've found a really solid solution. Maguire's on the bench where he belongs, and
Yes.
He was smiling from the stands because they let in 6 and he wasn't a part of it. But yeah, they whatever adjustments and whatever preparations United made were not enough to deal with the attacking strength of Pep Guardiola's Man City. Haaland scored, I think it was a right footer, a left footer, and then another right footer later. So he didn't have the perfect hat trick.
No. Good natural hat trick, yeah.
And it wasn't 3 in a row either.
Yeah.
There was I think 2 goals in the middle there. But yeah, he's looking like a cheat code at this point. Like it's just, how do you defend him? And the crazy thing is, the one team this year that frustrated and prevented Erling Haaland from scoring and limited his touches to 6 or something was Bournemouth.
Yep.
And every other team was like, okay, Bournemouth, how did you do that? What's your solution here? And it's possible that solution just doesn't work anymore because they've adjusted, but also this guy's still not even in his prime.
We talked about it. We talked about the prediction video of the season.
Yeah,
but
he's a wonder kid, but already a world superstar.
I will say this. I watched the entire game, and it was so funny watching this game because it started at 9, and at halftime I had that's when I talked to my daughter.
And it was what, 4 at halftime?
It was 4 at halftime, and I was like, oh cool. Well, you know what? I'll just pop it on while I talk to her, and I'll watch the halftime show. And I'm like, wait, it's 4-0? Oh my god! I just couldn't believe it. They were just so good against them, and the way I believe it's the second goal went in. That second goal I don't think would have gone in if the defender wouldn't have faked going down. He had been injured, and I think he faked it at least. He might not have, but basically there was a shot on the defender. It was a shot on the defender,
and blocked it?
He did block it, but he went, oh, I'm down on the ground, oh my ankle, and he just laid there like he was dead on the ground. He just laid there dead, and I'm like, dude, if it's your ankle, you wouldn't be lying dead. You'd be trying to crawl off the field as best you can, or stay in it. I've seen hockey players take pucks full throttle, 100 miles an hour to ankles and shatter it, and they're standing on it going, I'm still there. I'm blocking. That's tough.
Hockey is a different different beast.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Yeah,
those players are just nuts.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I get it that if it hit, it hurt, but don't stay down on the ground. And the thing was, because of that, he had to get off the field, and because of that was their number 1 defender right at that set piece. And Erling was like, oh yeah, that okay, boop, and I'll just pop it right in. It was nothing to him. And I will say this, and this one person that we're not talking about is Phil Foden. Also got a hat trick that game.
Yeah,
they were the only 2 people that got
very
the goals.
Good.
And Foden, it was a funny thing. People were saying who do we give the game ball to after you get 2 hat tricks? And Erlin after
Yeah.
the game was basically like, "Here, Foden, I got enough of these. I'm going to get enough of them." And he just tossed the game ball over to him.
Of course.
And
What is this, like his third or
yeah,
fourth hat trick this
yeah,
year already?
and that's where the other part is. So this is the most astounding two stats that I learned this week. First one, he is the quickest player in the modern era, and we're talking modern era, goes back to like 1940, and he's the quickest player to ever have 3 hat tricks. I think it's 3 or
And
5.
it's not even close. His is
It's
like 8 games.
8.
Everyone else is like
40.
40 or 50 or 70 or like.
It's 40 games was the quickest guy. 48. It was like 48 games. I couldn't believe that stat. The other stat, which was mind-boggling to me too. He is going to have. He's on pace right now for 56 goals on the year. Second to that, 32 or 38 or something. It's in the 30s. Like, it's astounding how quickly right now the guy who has the lead, which is Salah, the person who's tied actually for first, had I think 32. He only had he has 32, but he at this point in the season he had 7.
Yep.
7. Like he is
What's Holland at right now?
Oh God,
Like,
20.
Like double digits at least.
Like 20 now. 20. Yeah, he is so good right now. It is just incredible. And the thing is, I will say, Newcastle had him down, and had him, in just a span of 6 minutes, Erling scored 2 goals on him, and he was just good. And then they scored another one, but it took a while for them. And then Newcastle kind of clicked in after the 6 minutes. It was like, okay, guys, we got to get back in. It's like, no, you guys are just. It's almost like you guys shut down for a break. Like, no, that's not how you do it against Man City. And I actually tweeted out that Erlin is the Konami code. I tweeted it out. Erlin is a Konami code. Up, down, left, right, A, B, B, A, whatever, start, select, whatever. Because he just gives you all the lives you need. Oh, you guys are down by 3 goals? I gotcha. Oh, you guys need a good pick me up for the crowd? Oh, I'll just score 6 goals, whatever. It's like he has what he does, and he did a lot against the Champions League too. But yeah. I would say Erlin is starting to become the greatest player ever, and it is scary to see him. It is not even his prime, like you said, but it's scary to see him like right now. And to have a player like that, there are so many teams right now I could tell that are just peed off that they could have gotten him. Remember, Man City could have gotten him and said no to it because it was too expensive. And Liverpool was thinking about it and said no because we have too many strikers. And it's like, really, guys? Now look how dominating he is. Like,
I feel like some of it must have been up to him, right? If Erling, 3 different teams approach him and say, "Hey, we'll sign you, we'll pay your release clause," because it was a release clause thing where the amount got lower and lower every year.
Yeah.
So in the year before it was a lot more, but then that year it ended up being like not actually that much.
No, and that's the thing. Man U said it was too much. Said, oh, I don't think it's good. Like, they could have got him at, I believe it was age 20, and they said, his release cost is too high right now, at the age of 20.
Which it was like 70 something at the time, I think.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, but you wouldn't pay 70 for how many goals he's scoring? I'm sorry, I would.
Well, he wasn't scoring that many goals yet. But then But then at Dortmund, he was like goal per game or something.
Yeah, he was a goal per game. Yeah, with a team like that. That's how. That's what I'm saying.
Including Champions League, like he just kept scoring.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. If your scouts are that bad and they can't know, I knew it 2 years ago how good he was, and I even said, I was like, guys, you have no idea how good this guy is. I don't know why people. I know he wasn't gonna go. The thing is, there's 2 things. One, he wasn't gonna go to Newcastle, and I knew that. And so I was like, okay, of course he's not going to go to Newcastle. Bruce is there right now. No. But I think because his father was from Man City and his father played for Man City, I think that was a big key for him to go there. They're a good team, of course. But his father being there, him growing up there. Yeah, he's Norwegian,
of course.
But growing up there.
I actually just noticed that. He was born in Leeds.
Yeah.
Well, his dad was playing for Leeds.
Yep.
I think the other thing too about him is with the release clause, you pay it, but that doesn't mean you get the player. That just means you get to negotiate with him.
Yes.
So maybe the other teams were like, well, why would we pay the release clause if like City will just and if City will just like pay it and sign him anyway, you know? So I think if he wanted to play for City, there's nothing anyone else could have done. Like I think it was, you know, it was maybe even wise of them to say like, okay, well, like I don't think we can get him. So
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Yeah, there was another tweet on this. Yeah, I know I'm getting into this too much, but there's another tweet that I saw that was kind of hilarious, and it was that Erling, of course, Norway's not going to the World Cup, so he's not going to be there. But because of that every team in the World Cup should get 30 minutes of him on his team. They should just all get 30 minutes. He just flies to a town. All right, 30 minutes. Okay, all right. Now he goes through. All right, 30 minutes. And that's how it should be played because he's that good that he could help any team out. Like, all right, guys, you got 30 minutes. I just thought that was hilarious for that. But yeah, he's an amazing player. He's going to get the Golden Boot. He is going to get Player of the Year.
Yep.
I think
young Player of the Year too, because he's only like 22.
He's under. Yeah, I don't have it written down. I think on who we have as our Player of the Year awards, but I don't think either one of us thought it was Erling. I'll have to watch the video again, but I think I did say Erling was going to be on that list for the Golden Boots, but I didn't think he was going to win it.
I think realistically you would have predicted Pulisic because he's American.
Okay, so, okay. Hardy, all right, let's get on to the next game, you liar. Anyways, next game we got, we didn't even talk about Man U and how terrible they were. They were bad.
Salvaged a few goals, but they didn't overall play well.
No, do you know what, since I said I watched the game, the only reason they scored the goals was because Pep took people out of the game. He took 5 people out of the game after 6-1. He's like, oh yeah, all right.
It was like halftime. He made like a huge sub, right?
Yeah, he made one sub change. Yeah, he made one sub change. And then when they scored their 6th goal, they're like, oh, I'm gonna take everybody else out. And he just took all these people out all at once. It was like a I don't know, like a sale. Like, hey guys, all right, all you are out. All right, now put all you in. It's like, holy crap. Yeah, it was Man U played terribly. They didn't have the defense. There was another report that Ronaldo is getting the ability to get released or traded or whatever. He's going to get out, and they've agreed. Okay, on the winter transfer, we'll allow it. So they allow it. He didn't play that game, and the coach said we're not going to allow him to play because of respect out of him. I think that's a joke, but that's anyway. Not here or there. But anyways, next game, Leeds versus Aston Villa. 0-0 game. I'll let you go ahead and talk about it.
Yeah, so this was the late game on Sunday, or the later of the games. I did not get to catch this one live, but I mean, no goal scored and a red card early in the second half for Leeds, and it looks like they just kind of like were holding on for dear life after the red card.
Yeah.
Villa put up 7 shots on target. I assume most of those in the second half. But Meslier in net for Leeds made the saves. Villa are really hurting for points. I feel like they definitely want to get as many as they can, and they had to leave with only 1, even when they were up a man for almost half the game. But I'll let you go into more detail.
Yeah, I saw the game a little bit. And yeah, the red card actually was 2 yellow cards. It wasn't actually a deep foul, but it was a stupid red card.
Oh, I think I remember seeing this.
It was it was a setup. There was a foul that had happened on that play. They were setting it up. The guy, all he had to do was he just said, okay, here's the ball. It's gonna dead ball lie. Then they got to kick it wherever they wanted. He put his foot in the air to block it, to block the free kick. You can't do that. And like, why would you do that? That's the dumbest. Why? It wasn't like there was no reason. You can't block it. There's nothing you can do. And he just puts his foot up in the air and blocks the kick. And so they have the dead ball, foul it there. He gets a yellow card. That's his second yellow card. He's out. And it was from that point on that Leeds just played defense the entire game. That's all they did. It was just defense, defense, defense. And the head coach of Leeds, actually, because of a red card the previous game, he couldn't be on the field.
Oh.
So he was up in the grandstands. And you could see him just flipping out, going, what is going on? So I think he will take a 0-0 draw out of that. Aston Villa, shame on you. You had a perfect chance. You had a team that was already mad at their teammate. You had 9 corners. 9 corners, and you can't get it in? I'm sorry. Sorry, Leeds. Or sorry, Aston Villa. You guys, no. Sorry. Bad job. But yeah, that's all I have to say on that game. And then we'll go finally for the last game. We go on to the very last game of the week. It was on a Monday. It was a Monday game, Monday night game. It was the only game on here, and it was a 4-0 win against Nottingham Forest. Go ahead, Matt. This was for a bottom dweller winner on that one.
This was 20 against 19 and 21. Leicester City finally got their first win. They're no longer the only team without a win this season, as they brought their goal differential up to only a -8 as well. But yeah, they just dominated the game. Like they didn't have like the vast majority of possession, but this was like Leicester playing like they have shown that they can. I think a lot of things we've been saying were, this is a good team on paper, they have good players, they just haven't been playing well. And I think I attributed some of that to the loss of the leadership of Schmeichel in the offseason. I think that really hurt them. Yeah. This was also, I don't know if it was his first game, but a young up-and-comer for Leicester. I guess he's 24. Wout Faes. I don't know if that's the right way to say that. Okay. Started in defense and played very well. He's Belgian, actually.
Yes, I remember. Yes. Yep.
Played really well and was just a rock in the center of defense, and they did not concede a goal. I saw a few articles that were talking about how he's really, turning them around. Yeah, Maddison scored twice.
Yep.
Harvey Barnes scored once. Aside from Vardy, those are the guys you want scoring. So that's things are going well. They even had one of the subs come on and score too. So credit to Leicester. They may yet not get relegated. I'll let you do the rest though.
Yeah, so I actually, because it was a Monday night game and I was excited to watch it, so I was able to take a quick swig, I guess, of the game. And actually the first 35 minutes, I would say, Nottingham Forest had the game. Not even kidding. They hit a beautiful, on the 30th minute, they hit the post beautifully. Pink! Right off. Should have gone in. Nottingham Forest should have been. I think if Nottingham Forest would have gone in, would have got that lead going to halftime, or even got that lead right there, it would have been a completely different game. I think Nottingham Forest maybe even have won that game. And it wasn't until Madison came in and was like, no, I got this, hold my beer. And he got it, scored as much as he could, played great. A lot of people are saying that he should be part of the English team for the World Cup too. He's not really even on the reserve team right now. And they're like, oh, look how great he played. I'm like, yeah, but you got to think, you got a team. Yeah, he's a great player, but he's on a team that's in last place, You can't be that great of a player, you know what I mean? So, I will say though, Leicester City actually stepped up the second half, and I will say that the second half was all them. They dominated that second half. First half, Nottingham Forest, I think could have made the upset, and I think if that would have happened, the coach would have been fired in Leicester City. I think that is happening.
This would have probably been the last straw.
Oh, definitely.
I think he's been given a long leash before this.
Yeah, we talked about it. We actually talked about it too before the game. We said that if he gets a draw or loses, it's game over for him. He lost his job. You're done. And he got the win, and I bet he was sweating. He was sweating balls after that post hit. But yeah, if you check on that, check the replay. I'll post it up here on the replay, and I'll see it. But yeah, he clunks right off of it. Incredible. But yeah.
The other thing I'll say is Leicester. This is the perfect time to be in form because they are playing Bournemouth next week, Crystal Palace the following week. And then they got Leeds, so they got some like winnable fixtures. They do. Honestly, fixtures that they can take points from. So this is like a really good time for them to be.
They had to get. Yeah, they definitely had to get that win. But yeah, here are the standings, folks. This week, couple of big things I'm looking at here. Like I'm not surprised. Arsenal, Man City, Tottenham, and Brighton are the top. Or I'm sorry, Arsenal, Man City, Tottenham are up there, and then Chelsea's up there too. Brighton was my big surprise. I thought Brighton would be up at this time of year, like I said, but they
maybe not that far up.
Maybe this far up, but I thought they would have slipped a couple. You know what I mean? Like Liverpool lost, right? That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Newcastle, of course, I spot on that one. I think I had them even higher than that. I think I have them at 6 or 5 even. But Liverpool is the big what? Why are they that so low? In the mid-table, but I think everything else. I think you and I are got them right. Even Leicester City. I even said Leicester City was gonna be low. I didn't think it was gonna be that low, but I think I said the Wolves and Leicester City were gonna be low.
I think a lot can still change right now. Like even like from 17th to 12th is 3 points.
Yeah.
From 14th to 7th is 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
And even from 5th down to 11th is 3 points. So like, a win can take a team like, 6 steps up in the table or something like that. Like anything can still happen. But that's nice because like every point counts. Like as you can see, like from 14 points down to 6 points there's a team in every one of those amounts of points, and every game is a chance to improve your position.
Of course. Go ahead. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you guys for joining us this week. Somehow we got it in under the not under the hour mark, but it's an hour 2 minutes. So woohoo, go us! We'll see you guys next on the next video. We'll do our predictions for next week, and we'll also do our predictions for the week 10.5 games that are going to be there. We have some big games on there, yes. And thank you again, Matt, for joining us.
Of course.
We'll see you guys next time, and goodbye.